Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA weekly analysis and assessment. NVIDIA finally gained the positive momentum before the GTC conference as we expected in previous videos. In this video, I will present my analysis regarding how NVIDIA may behave next week. I also created this poll onto my YouTube page. Please select one of the following option. This asks NVIDIA will do the following by the end of next week. And you have three options to select. I wanted to see your opinion how NVIDIA can behave next week. If you look at weekly candlestick chart, you can notice that the last week we had a positive closing or green candlestick. And before that, 3 weeks in a row, we have negative closing or red candlesticks. And as I mentioned you in my weekly analysis video for last week that I posted over the weekend the last week, I mentioned to you guys that whenever Nvidia has 3 or 4 negative closing weeks, the next week Nvidia gets a positive momentum. For example, it happens here 3 negative closing weeks in a row and also 4 negative closing weeks in a row. And after that, you see green candlestick and similar behavior here. So last 3 weeks in a row, negative closing followed by positive closing. And that is in line with my analysis in my previous weekly video. So this tells that Nvidia is started to gain momentum before the GTC conference. But early this week, Nvidia did not have a good time due to tariff and other economic uncertainty. In my opinion, Nvidia should carry the positive momentum next week as well. I'm expecting Nvidia to have another positive closing by the end of next week. On Friday, Nvidia closed at 121.67, that is 5.27% up. And overall, last week, Nvidia was up about 10.8%. And that's a very good return in just 1 week. But year to date, Nvidia is still down about 12.03%. But if you take a look last 1 year, Nvidia is still up about 38.5%. So in last 1 year as a whole, the situation is still not too bad compared with S&P, Nasdaq, or Dow Jones because their overall return in last 1 year is less than 20%. For example, S&P last 1 year just 10.2%, and Nasdaq in last 1 year just 11%. And Dow Jones in last 1 year, the overall return is about 7%. So even if Nvidia was under pressure in last few weeks, but still Nvidia is a better investment compared with other major indices. That's what the history shows. So this tells that we need to be a little patient and we should not get too much upset due to Nvidia not doing great in last few weeks. But the situation should change in the future because the financials and the fundamentals of Nvidia is still very strong. And if you take a look the forward PE for Nvidia and other AI stocks, you see that the forward PE for Nvidia is at 33.99 and compared with last 6 weeks of average, that is 35.82. So the last week of forward PE is still below the 6 weeks of average forward PE for Nvidia, but not too far off. 33.99 versus 35.82. Palantir at this point 159.70, slightly higher than the last week closing. SMCI forward P 16.34 higher than the last week forward PE, and that's good. So that tells SMCI also started gaining momentum in last few days. AMD 22.79 versus 22.64 1 week prior. So not a big change. And regarding the economic data for next week, so Monday we do not have any inflation or jobs data coming. So not too much on Monday. And Tuesday also we do not have any important data coming up. Wednesday, we have FOMC interest rate decision, and that's important, and also Mr. Paul conference. So those two events are very critical on Wednesday. Thursday, we have weekly initial jobless claims. That's also important. And Friday, nothing is scheduled. So on Wednesday, there is a possibility that market would be comparatively volatile. And if you take a look technical charts for Nvidia and also the Fibonacci levels, you see that Nvidia is trading around 121. So 121.23 is the next resistance level for Nvidia. And after that is 127. So as I mentioned in my previous video, 127 is a strong resistance level for Nvidia. So in my opinion, it won't be very easy for Nvidia to break a 127 in just one attempt. But if Nvidia does break 127 next week, next level of resistance is 133. On the lower side, the next level of support is around 112. And if you take a look MACD chart, as you notice, we had a steep curve a day before yesterday, and we have a peak here. And after that, you see Nvidia went down. And that's what I expected. A similar thing happened here, you see. But a good thing is Nvidia was able to gain the momentum again on Friday. So Nvidia did not have a very good time on Thursday. It was almost flat. So on Thursday morning, you see Nvidia went down, and same thing reflected in MACD chart. On Friday, it started going up again. On Monday, there is a possibility that Nvidia can go further up. And if you take a look at news regarding Nvidia and overall market on Friday and Thursday last week, so most of the news are talking positive about Nvidia's future outlook. For example, this one that says I like Nvidia at these valuation with its conference ahead says Bernstein's Stacy has gone. So in his opinion, Nvidia at this price level around 121 is a good price level before the GTC conference. So he's pretty much satisfied. So here you see, so another one, and that's talked about the quantum computing that says D-Wave stock surges. Wall Street says the future is now for quantum computing. Barron's.com. Another one regarding the semiconductor and the chip stocks that says shares of semiconductor and chip stocks are trading higher. The sector may be gaining amid an overall market rebound after experiencing recent weakness due to tariff uncertainty. So I have the similar opinion that Nvidia and other AI stocks started gaining momentum in last few days, even if we have a tariff uncertainty at this point as well. So now this one that talks about expert opinion. So this says expert outlook Nvidia through the eyes of 17 analysts. Let's open it. So out of those 17 analysts, 10 of them are bullish, 6 of them are somewhat bullish, and 1 indifferent. 1 month ago, the situation was 6 analysts says bullish, and 2 of them somewhat bullish, and 1 indifferent. And 2 months ago, the situation was reversed. More analysts were talking about somewhat bullish versus a strong bullish. So this tells that compared with 2 months or 1 month ago, at this point, most analysts are positive about Nvidia. Now I see one price target for Nvidia, and that's a price target reduction, and that's from Mizuho. They adjusted the price target on Nvidia to 168 from 175. Keeps outperform rating. Now let's talk about this one that says Nvidia stock rises. New evidence shows the AI trade is alive and well. Balance.com. Let's open it. So it says that Nvidia stock jumped on Friday after a key supplier's latest earnings report appeared to bode well for the artificial intelligence trade amid a wider market rally. And that's from this guy on High Precision Industry, known internationally as Foxconn. So this company's net profit slid over the fourth quarter, but it said that its revenue for AI servers should surpass 1 trillion Taiwanese dollars, in other words 30 billion US dollar in 2025. And also they mentioned that they are building the world's largest manufacturing site for servers to house Nvidia's GB200 superchips in Mexico. And the analysts are saying that these guidance could be seen as a sign that demand for AI products, including Nvidia's graphic processing units, will remain strong this year as well. So these comments is in line with my previous expectation that I mentioned to you guys that the future outlook for Nvidia is still very strong. So I guess that's all about the important news regarding Nvidia and the AI sector. So overall, things look positive for Nvidia looking at the data and other news. For next week, you see that we have a GTC conference, and at the same time, the uncertainty regarding tariff and the FOMC rate cut decision next week as well. So next week, there'll be a battle between the positive forces that would try to pull Nvidia stock further up due to the GTC conference and other data that gonna be presented in those conference. And overall, Mr. Jensen comments regarding Nvidia and AI future. And the negative forces will try to bring Nvidia down, and those are uncertainty regarding tariff and the overall macroeconomic situation. So next week will be interesting to see how Nvidia would behave, but in my opinion, Nvidia should close positive next week as well. So that's all about my analysis and assessment for next week regarding Nvidia. I hope you like the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more in the next video. Take care.